Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Children, welcome to the second chapter of geography, that is Inside Our Earth. Children, before we start, I hope you are ready with your pen and a notepad to jot down the important points. Now, let us start with this chapter. But before we begin, let me tell you some information about our Earth. Children, the Earth is about 460 crore years old. Its surface has been undergoing changes throughout these years. We still have a very limited information about what is inside our Earth. A detailed study of the interior of the Earth is done by geologists. Children, an elementary knowledge about Earth's structure is necessary to understand the nature of changes that takes place on the surface of the Earth. We all know that it is impossible to reach the center of the Earth because the temperature inside it increases with increase in the depth. The temperature at the center is estimated to be around 5000 degrees Celsius. Thus, it is not possible to access direct information about the interior of the Earth. Most of our knowledge about Earth structure and interior is based on the density of materials, behavior of the earthquake waves, etc. Now, these waves reveal that the Earth behaves like a solid body up to a depth of 2900 kilometers from its surface. The average density of Earth is about 5.5 gram per cubic centimeter. The Earth is not composed of uniform material. The material of the inner layers are heavier than that of the outer layers. The density of the rocks increases towards the center. So, children, by now we have understood that our Earth is a dynamic planet. It constantly undergoes changes from inside as well as outside. Children, have you ever thought of what the interior of the Earth would be like, or what exactly the Earth is made up of? Yes, children, I am sure by now you must have understood that we are going to learn about interior of the Earth in this particular chapter. So, children, let us take an example of onion. An onion has several layers inside, isn't it? Yes. So, just like an onion, our Earth is also made up of several concentric layers, okay, with one inside the other. Basically, there are three types of layers. They are crust, mantle and core. So, now let us look at each of the layers one by one. Now, children, can you see this diagram over here? This diagram is from the textbook. It shows the crust, lithosphere, the mantle, core mantle boundary and the outer core, and plus also the inner core. So, basically the innermost orangish color part that you can see is the inner core. Okay. So, just as I was telling you about it, it is estimated to be about 5000 degrees Celsius. The temperature of the center is approximately 5000 degrees Celsius. Then comes the outer core. The light orangish part that you can see is the outer core. Then comes the core mantle boundary, followed by the mantle. lithosphere and the crust. Children, the uppermost layer of the earth's surface is called the crust. So children, the crust is a relatively thin layer. The upper part of the crust is called continental crust. It is about 35 kilometers thick, and the lower part of the crust is the oceanic crust, which is about 5 kilometers thick. The continental crust is made up of silica and alumina, and so it is also called Sial. So C comes from silica and Al comes from alumina, and hence it is called Sial. The oceanic crust is made up of silica and magnesium, and therefore it is also called as Sima. C from silica and Ma from magnesium. Children, the average density of the crust is about 3 per cubic centimeter, 3 gram per cubic centimeter, and the outer crust has soil. Children, it also provides us with the most of the minerals. Children, take a look at this picture. This is figure 2.2 from your textbook, from your geography textbook. So you can see the continent, ocean, and also the continental crust and the oceanic crust, which I was telling you about. As I said, have a look at the continental crust. It is about 35 kilometers thick, and the oceanic crust is about 5 kilometers thick. Now let us look at the mantle. Children, just beneath the earth is a 2900 kilometers layer called mantle. The mantle lies between the crust and the core. It is made up of dense and heavy materials such as iron, magnesium, etc. The average density ranges between 3.5 grams to 5.5 grams per cubic centimeter. The temperature in the mantle is high. Children, it is here that the magma is found. The core lies below the mantle and around the center of the earth. It is also called as barysphere. The average radius of the core is about 3500 kilometers. It is made up of heavy metals such as nickel and iron. Therefore, it is also called knife. Ni from nickel and Fe from iron, so knife. The temperature of this layer varies between 2200 degrees centigrade to 5000 degrees centigrade. The average density ranges between 5 gram and 13 gram per cubic centimeter. So children, we have till now seen the 3 different layers of the structure of the earth. Now let us move on to the next session, that is material of the earth's crust, that is rocks and minerals. Now children, let us understand first that the lithosphere is made up of rocks and minerals. We already saw lithosphere in the picture, in the last picture that I showed you. Now rocks are those materials which are obtained from the earth's crust. They include not only the hard materials such as granite and marble, but also soft and loose materials such as chalk, clay, sand, and salt. The rocks are made up of minerals. They do not possess a definite chemical composition. Minerals are naturally occurring substances that are present in the rocks. They are solid substances which have definite chemical composition. A rock in which a particular mineral is found in a large percentage is called ore of that mineral. Mining is mostly done in those areas where ores occurs. Now, let us have a look at the types of rocks. There are majorly three types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Now, different types of rocks are formed in different ways, and hence they have different characteristics with regards to their composition, color, size, and texture. On the basis of their mode of formation, there are three major types of rocks, as I said: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Now let us have a look at the igneous rocks. Children, the word igneous has been derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. The igneous rocks are associated with volcanic eruptions. Children, they are found when the magma cools down and solidifies. These rocks were the first to be formed, and thus they are also known as primary rocks. So these rocks are the first ones to form, and hence they are called as primary rocks. Igneous rocks are of two types, children: intrusive igneous rocks and extrusive igneous rocks. This is the picture of igneous rocks. See, children, the magma that is coming down and it is getting solidified. The rocks that cools down below the surface of the earth are called intrusive igneous rocks. Children, the rate of cooling is slow inside the earth, and thus the crystals formed on the cooling are large. Examples of igneous rocks can be granite, or dolerite is also an example of igneous rock. The rocks that cool on the surface of the earth are called extrusive igneous rocks. These rocks are also known as the volcanic rocks. Due to rapid cooling, the crystals are fine grained. Basalt is an example of such rock. The Deccan Plateau of India is made up of basalt rocks. Igneous rocks have some typical characteristics. They are hard and compact. These do not occur in the distinct beds or strata. These rocks do not have the remains of animals or plants, and they allow water to percolate through them. Other types of rocks are formed from igneous rocks. And children, valuable minerals such as iron, gold, silver, and aluminium are found in these rocks. Now, let us look at the second type of rock, that is sedimentary rock. Children, rain, wind, ice, plants, and animals break rocks into fragments. These rock fragments are carried away by running water, wind, and ice, and they are deposited in depressions. The deposited materials are called sediments. The loose sediments are then compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks. Now children, these layers of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are formed either mechanically, chemically or organically. These rocks are the most widespread and cover about 75% of the total land area of the earth. Now, just like igneous rocks have a particular characteristics, sedimentary rocks also have some typical characteristics. These rocks are softer than the igneous rocks. They have horizontal layers arranged one above the other. These rocks are mostly formed underwater and they have marks of waves and mud cracks. These rocks contain remains of animals and plants called fossils between the layers. The important examples of them are sandstone, limestone and coal. This is the picture of sedimentary rock. As I said, you can see the horizontal layers arranged one above the other. Children, just like I said, sedimentary rocks contain remains of animals and plants called fossils. Now, just to clarify here, fossils are the remains of dead plants and animals and they are trapped in the layers of rocks. This is a picture of an animal fossil and a plant fossil. Metamorphic rocks. Children, the metamorphic rocks are all actually igneous or sedimentary rocks which have been changed due to excessive heat and pressure inside the earth. Excessive heat and pressure can change the original properties of rock such as its color, hardness, texture and mineral composition. Such changed rocks are called metamorphic rocks. The act of metamorphism takes hundreds of years. In due course of time, limestone can change into marble, shale into slate, granite into gneiss, sandstone into quartzite and so on. Children, gems are found in these rocks. Like igneous and sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks also have some characteristics. These rocks, after change, remain in their original position. They are very hard and have a high specific gravity. These rocks do not have empty spaces in them. Now children, look at this picture. It is a picture of metamorphic rocks. Now let us move on to the next section, that is uses of rocks and minerals. Rocks are very useful to us. In ancient times, rocks were used to make tools and weapons. The hard rocks are used in construction of roads, houses and buildings. Minerals like coal and petroleum provide the source of power. Chemicals found in some sedimentary rocks are used to make fertilizers. Stones are also used in many games like hopscotch, 5 stones, 7 stones, etc. Soil is formed from rocks itself. Now, let us move on to the next session, that is the rock cycle. Now, children, what exactly do you understand by rock cycle? The change of one type of rock into another type under certain conditions, and that too in a cyclic manner, is known as rock cycle. The rock cycle has neither a beginning nor an end. In this process, the matter of the earth's crust is not lost. The rock cycle operates in certain ways. The hot and molten magma forms igneous rocks on cooling. Now, these igneous rocks are exposed to different agents of weathering and erosion on the earth's surface. The broken rock fragments, when transported and deposited in basins, forms sedimentary rocks. So, these broken rock fragments, when they are transported, children, and when they are deposited in the basins, they form sedimentary rocks. This we have already seen. The leftover igneous rocks and the newly formed sedimentary rocks are subjected to intense heat and pressure. They change into metamorphic rocks in due course of time. The sedimentary rocks are buried along with the metamorphic rocks are buried again and melt to form magma. This magma again cools down and forms igneous rocks. Now, children, throughout the geological period of millions of years, rocks and minerals have been changing due to working of the rock cycle. Now, let us take a look at the picture. This is a picture of a rock cycle. This picture shows that when the molten magma cools, it solidifies to become igneous rocks. When igneous rocks are broken down, they are transported and deposited to form sedimentary rocks. When the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure, they change to metamorphic rocks. And the metamorphic rocks, which are still under great heat and pressure, melt down to form molten magma. This again cool down and solidify into igneous rock. So, this entire process of transformation is called the rock cycle. Now, children, let us understand more about minerals. Rocks are made up of different minerals. Now, what are these minerals? These minerals, they are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical property and definite chemical composition. Minerals are very important to mankind. Some of them are used as fuels. For example, coal, natural gas, petroleum, etc. They are also used in industries like iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. They are also used in medicines and in fertilizers too. Now children, let us take a small recap on this chapter. Children, in this chapter we have learned about the interior of the earth. We learned that earth is a dynamic planet and it constantly undergoes changes from inside as well as from outside. Both interior and exterior of the earth consist of different types of rocks and minerals. We learned that the radius of the earth is 6,371 kilometers and it is made up of several concentric layers with one inside the other, just like an onion. We learned about the three different types of layers, that is the crust, mantle and core. The uppermost and the thinner layer over Earth's surface, which is about 35 kilometers on the continental masses and only 5 kilometers on the ocean floors. Continental mass consists of silica and alumina. Thus it is called Sial. The oceanic crust consists of silica and magnesium and therefore called Sima. The crust forms only 0.5% of the volume of the earth. Mantle is just beneath the crust and extends up to the depth of 2,900 kilometers below the crust. The innermost layer is the core with the radius about 3,500 kilometers. It is made up of nickel and iron and hence called knife. The central core has a very high temperature as well as pressure. Then we learnt about rocks and minerals and also saw its uses. We learned that the earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks and minerals. Now rocks. What are rocks? Rocks are any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up Earth's crust. The different types of rocks vary in color, size and texture. Rocks are useful to us. In ancient times, they were used to make weapons and tools. Hard rocks are used for making roads, houses as well as buildings. Then after that we saw the different types of rocks. The three major types of rocks are igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. Igneous rocks are formed when the molten magma cools and becomes solid. Igneous rocks are also known as primary rocks. Sedimentary rocks. The transported and deposited small fragmented rocks by wind, water, etc. form sediments. These loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks which are called sedimentary rocks. Metamorphic rocks. These rocks are formed due to great heat and pressure over igneous and sedimentary rocks. Example: limestone turns into marble, clay changes to slate, etc. Then we learned about rock cycle. Now, one type of rock changes to another type under certain conditions in a cyclic manner. The process of transformation of the rock from one to another is called the rock cycle. Then we also learnt about the process of transformation in rock cycle. We saw how molten magma cools, solidifies and becomes igneous rock. Igneous rocks, when broken down into small particles, are transported and deposited to form sedimentary rocks. The igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure and change to metamorphic rocks. And metamorphic rocks, which are still under heat and pressure, melt down and form molten magma. Again, this molten magma cools and becomes solid igneous rocks. After that, children, we learnt about minerals. We saw that minerals are natural occurring substances with certain physical properties and definite chemical composition. These are used in industries, medicines, as fertilizers, fuels, etc. So with this, I end this chapter of geography inside our earth. Here I am going to explain you about social science project. Students, like every year, this year too you are having a project for your vacations. But this year's project is very different and interesting, and I'm sure you all are going to enjoy it a lot while making it. Students, this year you are going to make a project for which you have to use internet, that is Google Chrome and few apps. So the project for this vacation is virtual tour of traditions and culture of India. So children, what you have to do is you have to record yourself while explaining the project. Isn't it very exciting? Yes, children. So you have to make a presentation on your own using internet and some apps, and you have to use the recording app, that is X Recorder, and make the project. So the topic is traditions and culture of India. Now what will exactly are you going to do in this? You have to collect pictures of traditions and culture of India, and basically you have to explain how it has changed from ancient period to modern period due to modernization or globalization. Now children, before I proceed, I hope you have kept your notepad and pen handy so that you can jot down the points. So let us first understand what exactly do you understand by culture and tradition. The term culture refers to the way of life of a member of various society or groups. It includes dressing, eating habits, language, mannerism and etiquettes, arts, sports, literature, scientific attitude, gender, etc. So then what is tradition? Tradition is a collection of all thoughts and conducts of previous days. So now let me give you one example, children, of language. Now language comes under culture, we all know that. Okay, so now let us understand how the change that took place in a particular language. Now let us take an example of Marathi language. Now children, Marathi is a very ancient language. It is a fusion of Prakrit, Nepali and Maharashtri. But let me tell you here that the Marathi language which was spoken in ancient period was different to what it is spoken now. Children, in the globalization process, or you may say westernization process, some forms of new and different culture practice or behavior developed from mixing of different cultural traditions. Now, which means that group do not necessarily gave up their own culture, but what happened was it participated in various ways in each other cultural activities. This is called cultural hybridization. It is universal process which is speeded up through globalization. Now let us take one more example of eating habits. Children, today we prefer Italian pizza with tandoori paneer as topping, which indeed is very Indian. So children, now let us understand how to make this presentation. Children, this will be your first slide. You have to mention your name, roll number and standard year. Your roll number can be your last year's roll number. On this slide, you have to mention your last year's division and the school name. The next slide should be of the index. Now, let us understand the steps to be followed. Firstly, you have to collect the images from Google. So, if the topic for the project is traditions and culture of India, so basically you have to collect images about it. Then you have to arrange the image in the Google Slides or PPT. In case you're going to do it on Google Slides, you have to download it from the Play Store. You have to download Google Slides from the Play Store. Then you have also need to download X Recorder from Google Play Store. Now let us understand how to use the X Recorder. Firstly, you have to open X Recorder and give maximum permission to access. So you will get the option over there. You have to give maximum permission to access. Then go to the settings and scroll down. You will get the option of record audio. You have to enable it. After that, scroll up and press avoid abnormal stop option and click on protected apps and then allow. Children, you have to make the presentation by recording your voice and explaining every image. So basically, you need to take the pictures, the images from Google, put it in your slides, take relevant information from Google, put it in the slides and explain it slide by slide. The presentation should be of 10 to 15 minutes. You have to save the presentation or save the recording, the video in the pen drive, and you can submit it when the school reopens. So children, as informed earlier, you have to take pictures based on culture and traditions that you will be showing in the presentation. You have to you have to arrange them accordingly. Then you can also show that the changes have taken place from ancient period till date due to globalization and modernization. That is, how a particular tradition or culture existed in ancient time and what are the changes that have taken place in the modern era. Now children, I will be showing you 2-3 example slides so that you would have a better understanding of how to proceed. So now I'm going to take you to virtual trip to Taj Mahal. My name is Rupal Razi and I am going to take you to a virtual tour to Taj Mahal. This is the picture of Taj Mahal. Isn't it very beautiful? Now, this is the first slide wherein I would be writing the name, roll number, standard, division, school name. I have already told you how to go about it. Now I will start with the tour. This is a very beautiful picture of Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is located on the banks of Yamuna River in the vast Mughal garden that encompasses nearly 17 hectares in the Agra district in Uttar Pradesh. It was built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. Its construction started in 1632 AD and completed in 1648 AD. It has a mosque, guest house, and the main gateway on the south. The outer courtyard and its cloisters were added subsequently and completed in 1653 AD. The most impressive in Taj Mahal complex next to the tomb is the main gate, which stands majestically in the center of the southern wall of the forecourt. The gate is flanked on the north front by double arched galleries. The garden in front of the galleries is subdivided into 4 quarters by 2 main walkways, and each quarters in turn subdivided by the narrower cross-axial walkways. The enclosure walls on the east and west have a pavilion at the center. The existence of several historical and Quranic inscriptions in Arabic script have facilitated setting the chronology of Taj Mahal. For its construction, masons, stonecutters, inlayers, carvers, painters, calligraphers, dome builders, and other artisans were requisitioned from the whole of the empire and also from the Central Asia and Iran. Ustad Ahmad Lahori was the main architect of the Taj Mahal. This is a beautiful picture of the Arabic script which has got Quranic inscriptions. So children, similarly, you also have to make presentation on the topic which is given to you. This was just your example, which is why I have made only 2 to 3 slides. But your presentation has to be at least of 15 minutes. And I am very much sure that you are going to have a blast while doing this. So, now children, goodbye and stay safe.